Hello YouTube, Retro Rewinder here again. Got a pickup video this time. This stuff is all kind of scattered that I have. Unfortunately, a lot of it's stuff that I picked up in much larger lots where I did a lot of the reselling, trading off stuff. So I kind of have the leftovers of everything that I was keeping. Some of it might be trade and resell still in here. But anyway, I'm going to have to go through bags. It's going to be very unorganized. And I probably won't remember a lot of the prices unless it has the sticker on it. So I apologize for that. So I'm just going to kind of start over here and just work my way down and then get to these bags on the floor. Okay, at a Goodwill, which this does have the price, for $5.99. I don't really collect Xbox games that much, but this game looks really interesting. Stubbs the Zombie. And I was reading the back, and you can like throw your hand, like sever it and throw it on people, and then can like mind control them basically. But this is
like a $20–$25 game, I think.
when I checked. So yeah, it was a no-brainer to pick that up for $6. Also from Goodwill, games that when I owned the system, I never found one in the wild. I don't normally buy games off eBay. Never could find a
damn one of these games in the wild.
And I find there was like 6 there, but the other ones weren't complete. These are the ones I decided to pick up for $3.99. I got Gex for the 3DO. And so I have Gex, that's the one I'm still going to have. For also $3.99, I got BC Racers, which, I hate this, but there's no pictures to show what the gameplay looks like. There's just the front cover. Sorry, if I keep going on at this place, this video is going to be like 20 minutes. So, and the Daedalus Encounter, and that one was $6. At the Mexican flea market that I've been to many times, I was able to pick up a bunch of games for $5. Almost all of them were resell, but I did keep Ice Climber. What do I have here? At a pawn shop, just got this the other day. The PS2 games were $1.50, so I picked up Silent Hill 2, Greatest Hits, no manual. But I wasn't going to leave it there for $1.50. And I also got 2 loose DS games. They were asking $6 a piece, and I told them I'd give them 10 for both. And that was Mario Kart DS, so it's like the 10th copy of this game I've owned, and Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. And they had a price sticker of $15 on that one, so getting both of them were 10 I thought was pretty fair. At a Goodwill, for $5 I picked up a Club Nintendo reward from 2011, and it's this pin set. And I was actually on the phone with Goodwill Hunter talking about something that I picked up for him, and told him I also found this, and he looked it up for me on the fly, and I think he said it was going for like 20 or 25. So for $5 I decided to pick it up. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this or not, or just sell it off and get rid of it. I hadn't joined Club Nintendo at that point, so it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. I think I've already shown that in a video. At a pawn store, I think I paid $5 for this. There's no game in it now because I actually sold off the game because I already had the cartridge, which I can't find now, so I'm kind of mad that I did that. But anyway, a complete copy of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem for $5. And I picked this up at Salvation Army, Kingdom Hearts 2 for $5. I had the first one. I still didn't have the second one. Sorry if I'm kind of rushing. I don't want these videos to be long, and I feel like I talked about some of the games a little more in depth. Okay. These all came from a pawn store. For $5 I got No More Heroes 2. I've heard this series is really good, and I can never find the first one or the second one at a price I'm really willing to pay. So finding that one for $5 I thought was fair. And I actually have these games on a Wii compilation disc, but I've never seen them, and my Xbox collection is very small. I think I only have like 5 games. So I decided to pick up Metal Slug 3 for $2.99, and Metal Slug 4 and Metal Slug 5 for $2.99. I don't know, it's kind of cool. They have pretty cool cover art, and like I said, I already have these games on a compilation disc, but for the price I was going to pick them up. At a pawn store, if you watched my 150 subscriber contest, the same pawn store where I picked up the GoldenEye and the Zelda, I also picked up these 3 games for $2 a piece. The original arcade Mario Bros, Donkey Kong Jr., the arcade one, and I wouldn't normally pick this game up, but they were all $2, and I kind of got him to do a bundle deal for me. I think he knocked off $1 off my total price. But I picked up Casino Kid. I didn't have it, and I figured, why not? At a flea market, all their video game prices were eBay prices there. But I was able to find a Nintendo 64 controller. It's dirty, but the joystick is really good on it, and it'll clean up just fine. And it's got the memory pack in it for $4. And the last things I have here, the same pawn store from my 150 subscriber video where I picked up the Castlevania game. I got another game for $4, which was what I paid for Castlevania, and it was Earthworm Jim. A funny story about the Super Nintendo games real quick. He actually had a stack of them cellophane together, and he said that they went with a system. I don't even know how much he was selling the system for, but he had it all as a bundle. But he told me he would sell some of the games separate, but he didn't want to sell all of them. He wanted to, keep quite a bit of them, but he would sold me a couple. Sorry, my words are getting mixed up. He said he would sell me a couple of them. So I said, well, how much are they? And he said,
well, it depends. Some of them are more collectible than others, so those are going to be more money.
So he told me the more collectible ones were going to be $8 a piece, and the not so collectible ones were going to be $4. And I didn't want to just start asking him prices on games because I figured the first one I'd ask, he'd say, that's $8. So anyway, I said, well, why don't you split them up and show me which games are more valuable to you, which ones are not.
So he went through this pile, and he looked at the Super Castlevania 4, and he sat it in the $4 pile. And then he looked at some other ones, he sat all of them down in the $4 pile. Except he said the only one that he wanted $8 for was Mortal Kombat 2, which I thought was pretty funny because, it's a fun game, but it's not that collectible. And he left, Earthworm Jim and Super Castlevania 4 for $4. So I thought that was funny. The Game Boy Advance games were $5 a piece, so I picked up Pokemon Sapphire. I actually tried to get him to do a little better deal, but then he was like, well, I know I can sell Pokemon for $15 alone. So I was like, that's fine. So I also got Metroid Fusion for $5. And a couple GameCube games. This one I've been looking for. I think he threw this one in because I asked him what the best he could do on everything, and I think he said like $23. And that was for the Super Castlevania 4, the Earthworm Jim, the 2 Game Boy Advance games, and Zelda Twilight Princess for the GameCube. It was a $5 game, which this game sells for like $40, which is just ridiculous. Anyway, he said $23, and I was like, well, if I did $23, would you throw this one in for free? And he said yes. So he threw in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which was pretty cool of him. So I got all that stuff for $23. And most of it I'm not even keeping except the Metroid Prime 2. And I think that is it. The only other thing I'm going to mention is I picked up a ton, and I do mean a ton, of laser discs. And I picked up a laser disc player, but I didn't really want to go through all the laser discs, but I'm trading off some of them. And I paid basically $2 a laser disc, and I got like 75 of them. And I got the Laserdisc player for $15, which is a really good deal if anyone knows anything about Laserdisc players. You can't really find one for that cheap. So I just wanted to kind of mention that on the end of it. I'm not going to show the stuff because a lot of people probably don't even care about it. But anyway, this has been Retro Rewinder. I really appreciate you guys watching, and until next time.